Don't spend your morning playing catch up. WRVA and the city's alive. 7 a.m. It's go time, Richmond.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. 7:04 now here on Richmond's Morning News. My name is Rich Herrera. That is Gary Hess, of course, with news and sports. Super Dave Ayler trying to keep us on time today. But Super Dave, come on, you can be honest. It's like herding cats trying to get me to get through the morning, correct?
That's pretty much the standard every day.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow you get the day off.
Which is going to be nice.
Yeah, tomorrow you get the day off. Tomorrow, I'll just come over, I'll kind of honk. Come by your house like 4:30, wake you up.
No, I won't be up at 4:30.
What time will you get up tomorrow since you don't have to be at work?
7 or 8.
Okay, that's sleeping in for you.
Oh, yeah.
Could you even fathom what it was like to be a teenager when you would sleep until noon?
I'm just dreaming about sleeping till 7 or 8.
Yeah. Well, Gary, come on. Honestly, you've done this longer than all the rest of us put together.
My body clock is permanently wrecked.
So you wake up on Saturday at
5-ish.
And to you, that's sleeping in.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You and the dog.
Yes, me and the dog. I set my coffee maker. You guys are not coffee drinkers, so you don't appreciate this. The caffeine's important. I set my coffee maker timer for 5:30, and about half the time I'm going down and hitting the button before it ever goes off.
All right, so tomorrow, enjoy your coffee and sleep until 5:30 in the morning.
Yes, I'll sleep in. I promise not to reach out to either one of you while y'all are sleeping.
Oh, I'm going to call you both and wake you up at 3 when I wake up, just for fun.
You're not going to wake up at 3.
No, I'm not. Well, okay, I mess everything up, though, because I stay up late on non-school nights. So I'll stay up probably tonight till 11:30, which I normally would, and then I'll still wake up at 4 a.m.
Yeah, not smart.
I can't do that.
Well, that's why I said if it wasn't for Dave, I'm lost. Dave's job is to be the executive producer of this radio show and to keep me on time, which is like herding
cats. I know, but it's not his job to regulate your sleep on a morning where there's no show.
Yeah, well, once you're outside of this building, you're not my responsibility.
Yeah, I know. That's where I get in trouble.
That's your wife's responsibility.
That's exactly it. All right, let's get to some of the news of the day. One of the things I wanted to bring up was we still don't have a budget. Now we have a pending government shutdown here in Virginia. So what is going on? We've kind of ran through everything, so you know this, and that's why you got to listen to Richmond's Morning News. Otherwise, you're behind everybody else. Now, you're ahead of the curve because you know the reason why we're having this budget battle right now, simply, Glenn Youngkin left a big surplus. Now that Abigail Spanberger and the Democrats have the trifecta, the governor's mansion, the House, and the Senate, they've decided they want to not only spend that and more. And right now they're about they're $1.5 billion short of what they want. So Abigail Spanberger said, oh, look, we could do some math. I think we can come up with money over here. I'm not sure where exactly that money's coming from, but they figured out that we're way ahead in tax revenue. Let's do that. I don't think that's sustainable, but if you want to play CPA games, go ahead. Louise Lucas, on the other hand, she actually wants to find the money, and she found the piggy bank that she wants to raid to spend the $1.5 billion. By the way, the $1.5 billion that she wants to spend, as well as Abigail Spanberger, Don Scott, and the Democrats at Capitol Square, they want to spend it on K through 12 education, but they can't tell us exactly what they want to spend that on. They just want to give more money to education because nobody's going to stand up to that. The other things they have on their list of what they want is they want to spend more money on the Obamacare subsidies that expired during COVID. They want to extend those out on the backs of generating new taxes. Then they want to have a $200 million surplus slush fund in case Donald Trump spends less money on the federal level and they lose more state funds. And then on top of that, it's about $500 million. Maybe I got it. How about I put it to you this way? $5.67 million. If you have kids, you know what I'm talking about. 6-7 in a slush fund that they can use to recalibrate the 2-year budget. So basically, they want to spend money under the guise of K through 12, but then really it's a slush fund for what Donald Trump cut in Obamacare and in any other entitlement program or whatever else the federal government was funding that they said, do we really need to fund this? They want to have that money covered by going after the data centers. Here's Louise Lucas talking about trying to work with the House through this budget battle and how she's directly targeting the data centers, in her own words.
On Friday, I released information on a potential compromise in the interest of having a budget prior to the start of the new fiscal year. I met the requirements that I heard from the House and the governor that it be outside the current MOU around the data center sales and use tax exemption. The proposal referenced on Friday would have a tiered state impact fee. It is focused on incentives to mitigate some of the environmental impacts from data centers, which is the major concern for some people.
Major concern for some people. And we need to start talking about this. There's a lot of left-wingers that hate the data centers. There's a lot of environmentalists that hate the data centers. But there's a lot of people that don't understand the value that these data centers bring to the Commonwealth of Virginia. I'll get to that in just a bit. But did you notice what she said? MOU means that memo of understanding between the data center industry and Virginia that we said, listen, come make us the internet capital of the world. We will waive the sales tax you have to pay because you're constantly having to upgrade and bring in new components for the servers because they run so hot. It is part of the data center industry. So they said, yeah, hey, if we could get that little bit of a tax break, we'll come into Virginia. We'll make you the internet capital of the world. That's what spurred a lot of the economy on here in Virginia. Now, Louise Lucas has looked at those like, wait a minute, they're making a ton of money and they're not giving it to us. I want that money. Here's the second part of what she said. She said, I'm trying to work with the House, but they don't want to work with me.
I've asked staff to brief the committee and public this morning on what that proposal contains. It is unprecedented that the House would release a budget proposal that they have worked on with the governor. However, I want the House conferees to see our proposal, and we plan to meet with them immediately following this meeting today.
Okay, so they hadn't met for weeks and weeks, I think months before the conference committee got together, the Senate and the House. They just flat out didn't talk to each other. Now we're down to 2 weeks before we have a government shutdown. And now she's throwing this out. Well, you won't let me go out and renege on what we did with the data centers. You won't let me backtrack on that. You won't let me go backwards and break the deal we had with them, because you say, well, if I do that, then I'm not going to be able to make deals with other businesses, because those other businesses might get upset. Those other businesses might get upset over this, and who's going to trust us if we have this deal with the data centers and then we backtrack on that because Louise Lucas wants to go find more money. So instead, she goes, I'm not going to take away the tax exemption they had. I'll just find something else to tax, and we'll call it, I don't know, we'll call it something else. But now I'm going to go after not the data centers themselves, because that would, break the deal we had with the data center industry. Instead, I know they have a bunch of generators have as backup just in case. Let's go get money off them. Let's go take that money away.
I'm engaging on a listening tour, as you all know, to allow the public to hear and speak on this issue. Our citizens are angry about the exemptions costs and data centers impacted on their quality of life. I still believe that expiring the data center sales and use tax exemption would be the correct path. However, the Senate conferee's proposal that we will discuss today provides an alternative path toward where data centers pay their fair share to support services to Virginia and ensure structural balance.
Do you know what that means? I've just decided I'm going to find somewhere else to tax them. I can't take away that tax exemption, so I'm just going to find another way. Can you play that for me one more time? Do you mind, Super Dave? I just want to hear the rationale behind this. Data centers come to Virginia. They are bringing in tax revenues, but I want to tax them anyway. Take a listen.
I'm engaging on a listening tour, as you all know, to allow the public to hear and speak on this issue. Our citizens are angry about the exemptions costs and data centers impacted on their quality of life. I still believe that expiring the data center sales and use tax exemption would be the correct path. However, the Senate conferee's proposal that we will discuss today provides an alternative path toward where data centers pay their fair share to support services to Virginia and ensure structural balance.
That's the key right there. We'll have an alternative way to take money out of their pocket, but we won't call it taxation. We'll call it a use fee. Same thing. Someone else owes you money because why? I've decided as a liberal Democrat, I'm going to take that money. I'm entitled to it so I could use it for other things. And that's what our budget battle's over. Not if we're going to give more money to Obamacare subsidies, not if we're going to give more money to a slush money case. We have an anti-Donald Trump thing we need to take care of, not for $500 million so we can rebalance the budget after 2 years, not because we'll put this under the umbrella of K through 12, which nobody can vote against. No, now this battle is about, do I find money with calculators and sharpened pencils, or do I just go out and find a piggy bank that I can raid in the data center industry and bring them to bear because they're unpopular right now? That's what this budget battle is all about. You want to comment? Please feel free. 833-804-1140, 833-804-1140, the number for you to join us. I don't think they're going to get this done. The Senate, as their heels dug in, the governor is not. The governor's going along with the House. I don't see a lot of leadership right now, and I think we're going to see this thing turn into a budget battle next week. And again, for the first time ever in the Commonwealth of Virginia, we are facing a government shutdown. You want to comment? Please feel free. 833-804-1140, 833-804-1140. All right. Today's program brought to you in part by Michael Greer at GreerFinancialGroup.com. So, how tight is your budget right now? How tight is your budget right now just trying to make things work? The price of gasoline, the price of food, the price of inflation, insurance, everything keeps going up and your budget just pretty much stays the same. Now, think about this. That's while you're earning a paycheck. What's it going to be like once you retire? Because then you're living on a fixed income no matter what. You can't get overtime. You can't take on other things. You're pretty much it. And that money that you have set aside has to last you the rest of your life. Are you prepared? Do you have everything under control? Do you have everything planned? Like wild inflation or something? Call Michael Greer of GreerFinancialGroup.com. Have a hard conversation. Make sure that you're ready for your retirement. 804-427-7784, 804-427-7784, or visit GreerFinancialGroup.com. Fee-based advisory services processed through and supervised by Rise Wealth Partners, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm.
Are you ready for humidity season?